Hello everyone, welcome to yet another tutorial. Today we are going to look at how to create an animation of wall breaking down like this in Blender. Alright, so you can see that a car goes through the wall and we have HDRI lighting set up. The bricks have multicolors. We have sound effects of a car and the explosion and the bricks falling down. And then we have animated car and simulated bricks falling down, okay, and then a terrain. So let us see how all this comes together in Blender. So we start from scratch, and this brick is 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters, which is quite big. So what we will do is we'll make it 1.5.25. All right, so this is our brick. I will shift D to duplicate, move it, and we will move it 1.01. Okay, so we'll keep slight distance because when we create our simulation, we don't want the bricks to go crazy. All right, so shift D again, and then I'll move it, and this time it is 2.01, 2.02. Okay, so 3 bricks, and we will have 3 materials. So each brick will have 1 material. So name this brick 1, name this we will have to remove the material and add a new material and name it brick 1, and remove it new brick 3. Alright, so we will go online and look for single brick texture. Alright, and without spending too much time, just select 1, 2, 3 images that you like that would be used as your brick texture. Alright, so base color, image texture. I will save this file so that it will point to the right image directory and name this crashign, and now it will point it in the right direction. So that's one done. Brick 2, brick 3. Okay, so let us UVW map this one. So you go to UV editor and you can see that this brick has this blue patch because this has crossed. I'm not going to spend time modeling these things, but what you can do is you can edit it in Photoshop, but I'm not going to do that. This is quick and dirty. Okay, so you can just make sure that the brick looks nice the way you want it. Okay, and simply make all these big and make sure that everything is inside the image. This is very important. Okay, so let us just real quickly, without wasting too much time, get things done. Okay, it's not really important to have a very detailed work, but this will do. So if you look at the whole brick, it is within that image. Okay, so we are going to later on change the textures on the bricks, so we should be able to simply select an object and change it if everything is done properly. So we have to do the same thing with the other bricks. Okay, you can simply select the whole thing, scale it big. So somehow if you select here, it comes. So this is a faster way of doing things. Just scale it once and then bring it in the middle later. Alright, so hopefully it is all done. Layout, this one, UV editor, select all. This looks good already. Why is it like that? I don't understand. We should be able to select it here as well. Alright, so that took care of our bricks. Alright, so now we will create multiple bricks. So Shift P, right click, move it 5.03, and that will be enough, I guess. Shift T, move it up. Okay, so G, Z, move it up. Then Control, slide it. Okay, so I'll select these. Shift T, move it up. Leave a little gap there. Okay, and then now you can see that it starts forming a pattern. So you can select random bricks and change the pattern, so you get a different pattern, so it doesn't look like it's well organized. Okay, so we will select this, Shift P, move it up, Shift D, okay, so G, Z, and leave a little gap. Alright, so now we got our breaks, and then again you can see that the patterns are being repeated, so you can simply select random breaks and change their texture so it looks random. Okay, now we will create a plane. We have too many lights. I duplicated the lights many times. Add mesh plane. Scale this big. Okay. And then object. Apply scale. Alright, so in fact we can do this to the everything. Object, apply scale. Alright, so everything is 1, so it would be calculated correctly. Select everything, control select this, go to the side view and move it slightly above the ground. Okay, because when you play this simulation, this will all fall down, and then if there's a big gap, then it will fall down with force. Okay, so what we will do is now to see how this simulation works, we'll select the plane and we'll go to rigid body and make this passive. Alright, so it's going to be, it will not let anything go through. I'll select this, rigid body, active, and if you look at this one, only one becomes rigid body, not all. This one should become, none of it became. Alright, let us select one, add rigid body, select all, and then we'll go to object, rigid body, and apply copy from active. Alright, and this will add rigid body to all of these. So when you select this, you should see a rigid body parameters there. And then now if you play, didn't we make this passive? Okay, you can see that it settles down, and then we don't want this break. So either you can delete it or it's better to delete. So if you play, it just lands. Okay. So even this one we can delete, I guess. This one also will delete. We don't want anything. Yeah. So we don't want the wall to rest. So this is done. Now what we do is we can go to add mesh landscape. Okay, and then you scale it big. Add it here. Okay, so we'll select the camera, view, viewpoint, camera, view, viewpoint, camera, hit the N key, go to view, camera to view, and we will have a camera angle like this, and then we'll select this and scale this wide. Okay, so you can have some view like this. This looks good. So the car will come through there and you can see the animation of the wall falling down. So now for the brick, if you go to edit, references, add-ons, search for node Wrangler, it should be on. Let us select the ground material, go to materials, add a new material and name it ground. We'll go to shading and that material is there. Then select that one, shift control P. And then you need to go to CCO, textures. Okay, you can search for ground. Okay, and then you have a lot of options. If you click on it, download the 2K option, or if you want high quality 7K option, any material that you like. So let me try a new material today to see what would look nice as a dirt. Maybe this one. Okay, so I'll download this ground material, show in folder, double click, and what I do is I have on desktop 3D assets folder. So I have a ground and I'll say new folder. I'll just call it ground or rename ground 1. So I know that the ground is main and I drag these files there. Okay, so if you go here, desktop, 3D assets, ground 1, all these materials come. So you have the color map, you have the normal map, displacement map, roughness map, occlusion map. So you select all these and then they will be connected. Okay, so how cool is that? Our texture mapping is done. We'll add a ground map to this, and this one does not have texture. So you go to UV editing, and then you go to UV, smart UV. Okay, and all the UVs are mapped. I'll select it so you can see how it looks. We will simply scale this big. Okay, so you get that material. Make sure we save the file. Do the same thing here. Okay, I just do like this and then it's faster. All you have to do is scale it big. So you go to view, viewpoint, camera. It should look nice from this angle. Okay, it should not be too tiled. Okay, that looks good. So the texture mapping for these two are done. Alright. This way is too much, I think. viewpoint camera. Anyhow, okay. Now next step is creating your car. So I have a car tutorial, so you can bring a car from there. For this tutorial, to make things fast, I'm just going to add a mesh cube, and this will be our car. Alright, so we will scale this to okay, so this remains 2. This can become 1. This can become 0.5. No, 1, and this becomes 0.5. That will be our car. Okay, to keep things simple. Okay, and then you can go to add mesh cylinder, rotate it 90 degrees, move it. These are the wheels. So it looks like a car. So I did spend a lot of time modeling the car. But you can simply so it can be like a monster truck. It's difficult to see the side. Okay, you can add a bevel modifier. And before you add a bevel modifier, again you can go to object, apply scale, bevel, and the bevel is applied to the car. Okay, never mind. We need to apply bevel to the wheels and make this angle okay. So this is good enough for me. Shift P, Shift P, I will remove the bevel modifier for this. So I'll select this, shift this, shift this, shift this, shift this, control P, object. So this object will move and the wheels will move with it. So tap to edit mode, real quick modeling of car, extrude, scale inside, move this down. Okay, then maybe these can come out of the, so this will hit the, so we need some, I don't want bevel, I want insert. So this will be the windshield, extrude it inside, insert, insert. Why is the insert not doing right? The scale is not right. Object, apply scale. This is important before you can insert it. Now it will insert nicely. So it will have a smaller window. Insert. You may get some different results, but there are many ways to model the car. I'm not going to spend too much time. I don't even want a back window. So this is good. You can add a bevel modifier and then bevel it. I will do some more modeling. Alright, so this can go on and on. I'm just enjoying this. Maybe that doesn't look nice, but I will leave it there. Okay, so our car is done. So car materials, add a new material, name it car, change the color to red, reduce the roughness. Okay. The wheel also, what I did for the wheel tab, insert, extrude, insert, extrude. Loop cuts, 2 of them, scale them outside. So you can then select the whole thing, scale it small. Okay. So Shift D, duplicate and copy. We can do the same thing here real fast. Otherwise you have to duplicate it and not really worried about Oh, I forgot I had to add these cuts. So basically you can practice some modeling. Okay, tab, delete, scale this, shift duplicate, move it back. Okay, so if you look at this car, it is moving. Material, so we'll add another material, name this glass, add a glass color, whitish bluish. Okay, and reduce the roughness, so on. Why does it disappear? Okay, so we'll go to tab, select this, and this, glass, apply, this and this, glass, assign, this and this, glass, assign. Okay, and then you can add headlights and things like that. I don't want to waste time with that. This object, add a new material, tire, and add a new material, car. Tire, has a blue, dark blue color. Okay, so this object, tab, so I'll select this, I need the tire to be assigned to this. Okay, then add a new material and then select car. So then go to tab, select this, go to select, I need to grow the selection, control numpad plus, control numpad plus, minus. Okay, so this one will have a car material assigned to it, and that's not it. I'll delete this one, shift D, here, and this one, tab, select this, control numpad, this will have tire, car, assign, delete, shift D, move. Okay, so real quick we created the car. Go to the side view, and move the car onto the ground. Okay, so this car is going to be rigid body animated. Okay, that is important because we're going to animate this car. So this car is in the back. Okay, so we'll go to I location. Okay, so 48. The car is here. I location 72. I location. I rotation. We can turn this auto key on. This becomes 0. We may have to create rotation for that. So go to object display, motion path, and then here you can say 100, calculate. Okay, so this will tell you how the car is animating. Okay, so you can see that the rotation of the car has to follow the curve. So the car will come here and then go like this. Cool. And what we will do is just before the car hits the wall, it's going to jump. Okay, and then you can rotate it. And at 20, there's no rotation. And we go to the side, make sure it is on the ground. Okay, so the car, it hits. And lands. It can land here. Or it can land on the wheels. Here it can bounce up. And here it can go back. So some animation. Okay, and we have our car braking animation. That's about it. So view, viewport camera. How does this look? Not bad. The car comes and goes outside. So you can go to views, lock the camera, and then you can turn the camera around so you can make the jeep come right at you and go past you. Okay, so you play this. Alright. Now depth of field. Select the camera, turn depth of field on, viewport display, we want limits, and then the focal distance is at the brieks. Okay, and f-stop may be 0.1 viewpoint camera. Okay, so you can see everything is blurred out. And then if you want a little bit more clarity, you can go to 2. Alright, so animation is looking good. Now we need background, so go to environment, colors, environment texture, open, go to HDRI heaven, download an HDRI image that you like. I went to skies and found the sky. You look at the shadows, what type of shadows you want to create. And based on that, I like this one. Open image. Then you can see the image. And then again, if you go to shading, world, Control T, because you have the plugin. Now you can control viewpoint camera. And then here you don't want the ground because this is our ground. So you can change the X value slightly so you get rid of that. Okay, and then here you change it to cycle so you can see how the shadows are forming. And then you can rotate your sky to decide what type of lighting you want. Okay, so the shadows are in the back. I put the shadows in the front. Depends on what you like. Okay, so shadows are done. So if you go back to layout, you can see how the shadows are going to look, how the depth of field is going to look. Everything looks good. So lighting is done, shadows are done. Now what we need to do is bake our animation so that we don't need to rely on the physics. We only have keyframe animation. So what we need to do is go to side view, select this and shift select all the breaks, control, we don't want to break anything there. What I'll do is I'll go to file save as. Sometimes this can crash, so crash put 2 just in case I don't lose any work. And then you go to object, rigid body, bake keyframes, and then you have to decide how many frames you want. So let us play the animation again. I think 200 is good enough. Okay, so go to object, rigid body, bake keyframes, start from 1 to 200. And it is going to do its magic and bake it. Okay, and hopefully there is no error and everything looks good. Okay, so view, we'll go to view, viewpoint camera. Okay, so if you look at the brick, each brick has animation. Okay, let us go back to our EV so that it's not bothering us. Alright, that looks good. Okay, so now you don't have any physics left. You select the brakes, go to physics, rigid bodies are gone from the. So now this is strictly keyframe animation. This can be saved. Alright, so the car, what you I baked it, but it is animated. Everything, these are dynamic, these are passive. Now render setup. So we need EV, I have 64, depth of field, cycles, 128, denoising on, render output, 720 by 405, frame start. Now what we do is we wait for, let us go back to EV. Okay, we let the brick settle for some time. Looks like I added some camera animation there also by mistake. Which looks cool, by the way. We can add the camera animation as well. So, but everything starts from 20. Maybe 15. Okay. So, when you go to render settings, start frame is 15. We don't do the first settling down of bricks. And the end frame is 200, 24 frames per second. Output, you select where you want to save it. Desktop, have a Blender folder, so you decide where you want to save it. Okay, save it as fmpeg, encoding, use mpeg4. Okay, you can make it high quality, and that's about it. You can render your animation. This 405 doesn't work here, you need 406. Okay, and then you have to go in After Effects and look for sound effects. So I went to YouTube and I look for sport car sound effects. Okay, and the other thing I searched for was brick wall crashing sound. Okay, and then you can see what sounds you like, and then in After Effects you combine these together to get your final movie. So if in After Effects I will also show what I did in After Effects. I will go to File, Open Recent. Alright, so here you can see I have sound effect for the car. I have sound effect for the car. So and then my actual animation starts. This is my actual animation. It starts after some time. So I copied the same and I did a freeze frame. Okay, so right click, time, freeze frame. So the first frame is frozen for some time until the car starts and then it's coming towards the wall. Then the crash happens, the animation is played, and then I have another freeze frame at the end when the car goes by. Okay, so if you look at the car, I have a lot of keyframes. So there's a slide sound, then the car comes closer, then it bangs, and then as it goes away from the camera, it goes down, and then it further goes down and dies. Okay, so even during this, you see the car going by when the freeze frames at the end. And then I have this, and there were no keyframes here, everything worked fine, so I don't think I still added a couple of them because the brick sound was quite loud in the end when the bricks are moving very less, so I dialed it down. So that's about it. You put it all together and export it from here in After Effects, and then you have the freeze frame, animation playing, freeze frame, and the work is done. Okay, so thank you very much for watching the tutorial and hope you can create some awesome car crashing tutorials. Thank you.